Jackson, whatever you say is going to be recorded and probably used against you.
Just
put that one out there.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nemcast.
Episode 30. We made it all the way to 30. So
I'm glad Holly's got 30.
Yeah. It's almost half Courtney's age, because I think he's going on 65 now.
Steady on, boy.
To the old man.
Gang, gang. Support your local RIP.
How we doing, boys?
Good. Good going time. Ollie?
Yeah. Sunday, we're alive.
Made it through the week. Unfortunately, got to go back to work tomorrow.
That's it.
It is awful how the weekend ends and the horrors begin again, isn't it?
Mm.
Have you? What if we just do one day on, one day off? Nobody buy that, you think? I do that. What's today? Thursday? What's today?
I was aiming for more 4 on, 3 off.
Oh, yeah, of course you would, because you're a workaholic.
Why would you not want 4 off, 3 on?
Unbelievable. Well, I just want 1 on, 1 off.
We've gone very off topic with this straight away, haven't we?
That'll be, mate. Yeah, immediately. Right, back on topic.
Back on topic. We're going to be talking about KC again, aren't we? We're going to be following on from last episode with Courtney and trying to get a few different views of it. So we've got Jackson, who is another commander with me on the... Did you do both days or did you just do Saturday?
I did
do
both
days.
And I did the night camp and I did the shooting comp.
And we had like the commander and the shooting comp organizer, Ollie.
Commander?
Yeah, you were basically the commander. Everybody's going to listen to you, let's be honest.
I didn't command nothing. No, we'll start here. We'll start here with shots fired. I got removed. I was supposed to be commanded on the Sunday. I got substituted straight away.
Who the sub in instead of you?
I think
you substituted me for Brooksy. I was going to be your mate all day, and you got rid of me for Brooksy.
Why did I do that?
I don't know,
I did that because Brooksy was hurting, mate. Brooksy was hurting, and he needed to sit down.
Who was hurt? Who was bleeding from the bums? It wasn't Brooksy, was it?
That was a real severe case of chafe. I'll have you now, so I'll be invested in your rub now, so we won't have that incident ever again. Because I don't want to pull down my pants to see blood.
Wait,
at least
so
not
every event now we get to cocoa butter your butt beforehand.
Yeah, 100% slick. I want that shit to look like a Brazzers commercial. Do you know what I'm saying? I just want glossy.
Going into every airsoft game fully Bronsoned up.
Just yeah. Like that's it. You know, if we start losing, we'll just all get bassed up and get real spicy with it. The BBs will glance off.
What has this become? I don't care. All of this is staying in. I am not taking any of this out.
Oh, after hours for a reason.
Right, back to original questions.
Original questions of
original Jackson, pirate material.
As a commander and Ollie as a not commander, how did the days go for you? How did the weekend go for you?
Ollie, you can go first.
Yeah, mine's easy. Mine.
So what were you doing? What were you doing?
I couldn't get there on the Friday because I was working. Mm-hmm. So arrived Saturday morning. So Saturday morning was straight into meet and greets, getting people happy and settled when they arrived. That was easy enough. You know, we're lucky in we weren't hosting an event at a random site. It is somewhere we know. We all play there a lot. It made it easier to be like, hey, here's the toilets. Hey, here's Prono. Here's the safe zone. All of that out the way. Game was, I mean, realistically, coming from the Goon perspective, the game couldn't have been easier. You know, we were literally just mercenaries for hire. The game played out that whenever you captured an objective or something to do with an objective, you got paid in gold from Game Master, and you could use said gold to buy an amount of time of the Goons, Tropic Thunder, to come and assist you in the next objective or a fight or whatever you wanted us to do. We were at your will if you paid enough gold for us. So we kind of sat around chilling until we were paid to go and fight. So it was a great scenario for us.
Around you boys throughout the weekend, it's like, we can't get involved. We've not been paid yet.
Yeah. Did a few smaller missions for like less gold if people didn't have the money for the whole team, which was quite fun just to go in and slip in as like one or two extra blokes and stir up some trouble. That was good fun. So yeah, gooning was good. Gooning was good.
I will
business.
say this about the goons, and I believe Courtney will back me up on this. Somebody put into one of the group chats after the event, what is the training regiment of the goons like? How often do they work together and train together and do all the CQB and the movement drills and stuff? And I was I was waiting for somebody to put back. Never. They're all just really autistic.
Yeah. We've got
all
all
of
our
them should be
cycles.
medicated.
All of our cycles have synced, and we are like professional autism now.
Yeah. Mate, it's like it was the funniest thing to read it and just go, there's no way someone has sat there and watched you operate as a group of people and gone, they're regimented and trained. I just couldn't fathom it.
Especially when you've got one of the team guys saying ceasefire when there's no need for it.
Oh yeah,
mate.
Funny, that.
I have never seen Jackson more upset.
Mate, I'm going to be honest with you. If I could have been asked to walk any further up that hill, I'd have throttled him. I'd have got the lump hammer out, and the Black Country boy would have gone to town. He looked like coal. I'd have just pulverised him. Yeah, foolish man. Don't shout ceasefires when you mean hold fire. They're two very different things.
Yeah.
Ross.
Wow, just calling him straight out as well.
Yeah, I'm going to know, Shane. Mate, how else are you going to learn? But yeah, that was fun.
I didn't learn about hot mic until I got called out in every podcast, so here we are.
One's more annoying
it's
than
never Ollie. It's always John. Every time it's been John's hot mic.
Do you know what? You're not wrong. So yeah, gooning was good business. Saturday night went straight into the shooting comp. Shooting comp was set up a variety of attack sense targets. So we had one at the start, one at the end. That gave us an amount of time it took you to run the course. And then we set up a bunch of steel targets in between. Had the plan for a while, so it was fairly easy from my perspective. I just brought materials and painted targets to make it super easy for people. We wanted it to be inviting. We didn't want it to be like, Tropic Thunder have set this kill house up and it's impossible and nobody wants to do it. It wanted to be as easy and as welcoming as possible. And that was the main thing.
Even people on weekends after it that were still doing it. It's like, I think the weekend after we went up, and there was a couple of people saying, "Yeah, we saw a video of it. Can we try and do it if the stuff's still here?" It's like, we can try and do it. Why not?
Yeah.
So it was a good thing on the whole of the weekend, like a high point.
I think a lot of people just enjoyed it because it was that. Yes, it was airsoft, but it was this like wonderful crossover to happen between like airsoft and sort of the real training aspect that can be obtained from it. You know what I mean? Whereas you're not going to do like holds and you're not going to shoot people at 1,000 yards, but like working CQB and your manual of arms, just like for airsoft is fantastic. And to watch people actually do that and develop and then see the things that they hadn't done so well on the first run and then change for the second run, as well as it was like competitive in a way that wasn't directly peer-on-peer competitive. That sort of took some of the sting out of it for some people, where they get a little bit, after it's been a long hot day, everyone gets a little bit moody and RC, and you start getting the shouting happening. It just removes that, which was a great way to end the day.
I mean, realistically, it's only you against yourself.
Yeah. Basically.
Or you against your friends that were down there. I saw a couple of like younger lads where it was like, 2 or 3 of them had come down, and it's like, it didn't matter what skill level you were. If you just went in and had fun with it. If there was 3 mates, you've all started at the same time, just beating your mates was enough for some of them.
Yeah, my favourite was
took it super seriously.
Yeah, the first 3 people I think it was in the queue was one bloke and his brother and one of them's son.
Yeah.
So it was like two dads and a kid all going at the same course at the same time. Who's going to come out on top? They didn't care where they came in the rest of the list as long as they were beating each other.
Yeah. It put the fun back in the competition. It wasn't just, I want to try and smash everybody here. It's I just want to beat my little group.
I mean, I've never been to an event as well that's like done it how we did it. I've been to events where they've done, there's targets and you clear the targets as fast as you can, but that can get very sterile and boring for a lot of people. And if you run the same course 5, but because there's that movement incorporated into it and things, and it's the moving through the environment, so it's just made it really interesting, I think, for a lot of people. A lot more so than it would have been standing there and just shooting attacks targets.
And it will be coming back next year, no matter what Courtney says. The shooting competition, whether it's like the same kind of thing or if we change it up and take a whole area to do it, it's going to happen again. It was so fun.
I think it's just good for the social aspect as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of people stood around waiting for their run, chatting with each other. You've inadvertently brought people together in a small space and they're all talking about the same thing and they're all having a good time. It's like, it was cool.
Some of the photos that Rocky got from in the kill house as well, banging. I might be able to get the link. I might just be able to put a couple of thingy ones. I'm going to cover Jackson because nobody wants to see Jackson.
No, obviously.
Covering all the clips that Brocky's got. And
as long as you don't...
and John for all the photos on the weekend. Thank you, boys.
You got one of me running with all the spit coming out on there. That was a good one.
As long as you don't show my runs, it's fine. I set the whole thing up. Everything was fine in practice. I got 2 runs of the course under time, and they both went wrong.
Yeah.
I managed a gun malfunction on both runs.
You're cursed.
That's shit, admin. That's admin, mate.
Hang on. One was my rifle, one was somebody else's rifle, so I managed to break both.
Badmin.
Was it Ross's?
Yes, it was Ross's.
I was going to break anyway. It was Ross's.
Oh,
it's me with an AEG. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
How did you find the Sunday for Casey? I'm going to keep calling it Casey because it's just easier.
Sunday was all right, to be fair. Obviously, we had the rain. That was obviously going to be a challenge. Everybody's looking at the forecast, going, "Oh yeah, it's going to move off. It's going to move off. It's going to move off." And you're like, at some point, we're going to have to grin and bear this and just say, "Yeah, let's go out in the rain and get wet." Yeah. But again, from our side, it was easy. There's not going to be a complaint from our side. It was nice to sit around and watch and see the effort people were putting in, and then when we did get involved, it's like good. We get to bring fresh energy and try and amp people up again. On a day where maybe energy was low.
Morales were a bit low because it's like, oh, I'm wet, I don't want to be here.
I don't think it's that morales are low. I think it's that people's engines have run out. I think that it's very hard to have the fizz to play a site like Optac 2 days in a row, going ham. It's incredibly challenging, that site. It's very up and down. The terrain is continuously uneven. You're working in and out of buildings. There's large spaces between areas of buildings at times. Vast distances to cover, to collect and return with objectives.
I think we average on a full day's battle sim or something like that. I think if you track it, you average about 15k, 16k of walking. And I know on one of the events, I think it might have been one of the rumbles, my watch said I'd sweated 7 litres of water.
Yeah.
Because we were just hauling all day, up and down hills. It's like, it is graft as a site, and I think if you're not ready for it, there's not many people I think would be ready for it. It's always a surprise.
I think when I first went there, I definitely wasn't ready for it. I don't know about Ollie or yourself, Elliot, but it took me a good game or two to just get to a point where I thought, okay, I'm semi-comfortable now. Do you know what I mean?
It's knowing how to pace yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. You just can't go like a bullet at a guy at that site. It's the terrain's too intense.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it fun to a certain extent as well.
Yeah. Having the vehicles is like a massive saviour for it, but even if you're just playing in certain areas of the site, it's like you will shift just to try and attack from one end or from one area to another. It is hard work. It's not all hills, but there's a lot of hills, a lot of quite steep hills as well.
Yeah,
it's pretty grim.
Sorry, Ollie, I interrupted you there.
That's right. It's all good. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it from our side, really. It was always going to be easy. Just being that mercenary force that just goes as and when. So yeah, game played well for us. It was fun to interact with people. You know, you'd be a teammate for half an hour, and then you might go back, have a break, and then suddenly you've come back and now you're fighting the same people that you were teammates with a minute ago.
Yeah.
And everybody's, when you arrive somewhere, everybody's questioning you, going, "Are you on my team or are you not on my team?"
But that adds like another layer to it as well.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Say again, Jax.
So that adds that other layer of like complexity into the game, where you a lot of the time don't know where you stand with you guys, and it for me that's a fun experience. I don't know how other people feel about it, because I didn't ever ask that question at the time, but like now sitting in reflection, I think that was a really cool. Like it just gives me the tingle. It's nice.
It was nice just being able to see the boys as well. Like, I think I only called you in once on the Saturday, maybe twice. But it was just like, I can go and see my friends for a bit. Because I had Matt on the Saturday with me commanding, but that was it. I think I had Matt, Jordan, Jordan and Nelson, they were playing, but I didn't really get to see them too much. They were mostly on comms when I needed them. And apart from that, it was like I had 2 Matts, and that was it. Let's go and see everybody, have a good laugh for half an hour, and then I'll go back to doing this job. That was my half an hour of gameplay that I absolutely loved. Sorry, Matt, for breaking your gun, but it was good whilst it lasted. And fuck you, Jackson, for calling in the goons on me 3 times on Saturday.
Well, the thing was, I had a lot of gold to spend because of the Saturday. So I was just like, we're balling. Let's ball out. Me and my homeboy Jono. So yeah, we just balled out on you basically.
How was it for you as a whole? Like, go through each day.
So I got there on the Friday.
Yeah, you did.
Early doors on the Friday. Just did some stuff that needed doing on site. Just a little bit of running around and tidying up that hadn't been done, and not litter, but tree fall and just things of that nature, really. Then started welcoming people onto site on Friday, those that were arriving on the Friday. Got them settled, situated, told them where all the amenities were. They said, same as Ollie, same as everybody did. And then really the Friday was just a good chill and social and a giggle, to be fair. It was just a lot of people that hadn't seen each other for a long time. And then everybody just sort of crammed into the fold, and it was just a good conversation and a good 4 or 5 hours of everybody just having a good time and having a drink and having a chat and talking about airsoft. We're also talking about other things outside of airsoft, just a nice social. Then the incident in the staff house, but we won't go into that.
That is not podcast material. What happens in what happens in Fight Club?
Yeah, so then the Saturday.
New podcast, Tales from the Bunkhouse.
BTS Bunkhouse. So the Saturday rolled in, and me and John were commanding on Saturday, the Bearded BB, as you might know on Instagram, John. And we went out. I pulled John's pin damn near immediately and said, "These are the objectives." And within the first hour and a half, 2 hours, I had run at that site. I had everything. The world was mine, you know what I mean? And then to the opposition's credit, to Matt's credit, he really started pushing back at me. He was starting to hit the routes that I'd established to get objectives in and out of New Village, and he started trying to hit the fob a couple of times. He was getting real close. At that point, I dropped what I was doing as far as staying at the fob and just went out there with lads and got after it. And I cannot fault anyone's effort on Saturday from my side or Matt's side. I mean, there was some really good gameplay, some incredibly intense firefights, some really complex firefights that you had to sort of negotiate, move around, figure out how to outmaneuver. And just talking to lads on the Saturday as well and showing them how to suppress a position, how to move in between positions, how how to really just do some basically tactical things within airsoft was like a great time for me, because it's nice to see a player play but then develop as well. Do you know what I mean? And there was a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Then we did the shooting competition once that was over. Shooting comp was a great laugh, as Ollie said. I'm not going to go back all over that shit. Apart from the fact I forgot the dummy twice. That was not ideal. And then the Sunday, I woke up on the Sunday and I was a broken man.
I think we were all broken on Sunday morning.
Yeah, well, I went to the toilet. It's like, oh, there's blood in my knickers, man. You know what I mean? I was like, this isn't good. I'm definitely not due on. And then I realised that I'd shaved so aggressively on the Saturday that I was bleeding. They had to deal with that. So spent most of the Sunday in the vehicle, just sort of commanding from there, directing the lads where objectives were, what we were doing, going and hiring out the goons, and just sort of that thing. The night game on Saturday was a fantastic time, especially when BT got killed with a knife hand by George. That was the
every podcast now, every chance we get to bring it up. BT's
please clip
hand.
in the part that Courtney put in the other one. I beg of you.
I might just put the meme that Matt made, where your night vision won't help you not get knife killed.
Oh yeah, where he sat with it on the chair.
It's there.
It looks like, you know, when you're a kid, and you get lost in the supermarket and they have to put your mum's name out of the tannery. That's what he looks like there. It's just like, oh.
Yeah,
brilliant. Good time. While we're on the subject, though, there are a couple of thank yous that need to be made, lads, aren't there?
I think so. I think we missed a little bit on the last podcast recording, where there was a couple of people who we probably should have given shout outs to. I've given one of them already, Rocky and John. Well, two of them, Rocky and John. John ran the photography side of things. There was supposed to be a couple of photographers turn up. Unfortunately, they didn't all turn up, so he had one or two of the lads with him, just kind of helping out, get photos on the day, and then transferring some of his skills over. BT owes like the biggest thank you of all. The guy pretty much put the whole
killed
thing
himself.
together. Yeah, made himself ill getting it going. So thank you, BT, and thank you for doing the next one if it happens. Ollie's face changed when I said that. He didn't seem very happy.
I'm scared, man. I'm scared. I don't want to go back.
Well, everybody.
Wait.
I'm pretty sure everybody or most people turned up on the Friday and helped set something up. Obviously, Ollie and Elliot had the running of the shooting competition. Brooksy was there like the Friday morning with Tom, Nick, and Matt helping set everything up. I don't know what time Dan got there, but I'm pretty sure Dan was helping out. Everybody who had some involvement, massive thank yous to everyone. And we couldn't have done it without you all.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't have done it without Jackson.
That's the definition of like us as a group. So in the background, things have gone on and we had problems with catering and whatever, and it's just been jumped on, you know.
Hold on, let me just clear this one up because I've seen Jackson do this about 3 times now. He's not on some kind of drugs, people. He's just addicted to smelling salts at the moment.
This right here, folks, will make you a goddamn sexual tolerance.
Very strong smelling salts. We don't agree with it because it makes your eyes go cold when you smell it. There's no other way to describe it.
It also makes your ears tingle.
You smell it, you cry, you get a bit emotional, and apparently Jackson loves it and Courtney loves it. But
I'm telling you, that
stay away,
zings of energy drinks. Is the only way to.
Sorry, Ollie, carry on.
It's all good. Anything that keeps me away from that stuff, I don't mind.
Mate, I'm going to keep getting you with it. It's a good time. you love it.
No, there's a special place in hell for ammonia.
You love a little salt.
So, yeah, there was a situation with the catering where the caterer dropped out, which was a bit of a shock. And yeah, it's like 10 days before. And the lads just took it upon themselves. You know, there was wives getting involved. There was Everyone was doing their best to try and find something. Eventually, we got the new one sorted, but now we know how to go about it. We've got backups for future. You know, we've been through scenarios now that we know the boys will group together and they will get us out of it. You know, and that's the important bit. That was the good bit of having Tropic and the wider group around us.
It goes to show
I think that was the
15
important bit.
artists can do anything when they put their heads
Pretty
together.
15 of us now. I lose track.
Oh,
It's more than that. It's way more than
around the sky.
Yeah, it's so many people ask me about it, and I'm like, I just don't know. Just
I'll
there.
just go here. Yeah.
Just there. Just while we're on the thank yous, I think a big thank you to Rob for allowing us to use the site and the facilities and such. Not so much, didn't have a ton to do with the event and the running of it on the day. Sort of left us to deal with that, which is another thank you, because the last thing you need is like too many chiefs and not enough Indians. So that worked really well. But like as far as allowing us to use the site, because he can say no, he's a very cool dude indeed.
Yeah.
So big thank you, Rob, for Hot Tack.
It was nice to just see Rob kind of chilling out as well. It's like usually when you see him at the events, he's kind of 50-50 because it's his events. They are his, they're under the Optac banner. So seeing him not have to go, is everything going on? Is everything okay? And being able to just kind of see him chilling out in the safe zone, talking to people, doing his bit of networking, as well as then in the afternoon, being able to have a beer, chill out with him, and chat a bit of shit. It was a good time.
I don't think I saw him without a smile on his face the whole time.
Even the estate owner, I saw Darren and I don't know the actual guy's name who owns the estate, but like those two coming down and saying they enjoyed it was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah, something special, wasn't
it? We are fortunate to have that place.
Yeah,
really. You look at beyond just the site, the facilities, the space, the car park, everything as a package. It's very good and above the average standard. So
and it keeps getting money piled into it, so it's only going to get better.
Yeah,
I know he's gone and treated himself to a couple of bits this weekend from another site that has unfortunately closed down.
Unfortunately,
it only means Optac is going to get bigger and better.
We never
like one guy's problem. It's only this guy's problem.
Cheers, Jackson.
I'm just everything to everyone, aren't I? That's the thing. It's just like,
maybe
you become accidentally important.
Maybe less smell and salts. You perform worse, then people wouldn't ask you. Hey, how about that?
No, it's the fat hand. That's why people go to him.
We're here with the fat hands, aren't we, lads? I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you with these fat hands. I swear to God. Unbelievable. Can't believe you've done this.
The fat hands will go everywhere, as well as BT's.
I'll have you now. I've got perfectly normal hands for a man of my size.
Big hands, buddy.
This is nightmare. Oh God. Yeah.
How was your wet day on Sunday? You haven't spoke about your wet day on Sunday.
Oh, the wet day on Sunday. The wet day on Sunday was wet. So we woke up in the morning and we we got a little bit of a live because of the weather, which was just a gift from the heavens. Odin smiled on us this day. But yeah, so the rain I think cleared up at about 10:30, maybe, and then we pretty much from then got everybody out as fast as we could. And as the day continued to progress, the weather actually got tremendous. Like the weather was really good. It was very muggy, very hot and very muggy.
Yeah.
I think both on the Saturday and Sunday, people just didn't take on enough water throughout the day, which is a thing that you can only say so many times to people. I can't force feed you water as much as I would like to waterboard some of them. It's unfortunately not on the cards. So yeah, that was an issue. But other than that, dude, on the Sunday, again, tremendous play. At a slower pace because people were running out of steam. And about the 2-3 o'clock mark, people started going home, tapering off down and dropping, breaking down the setups and that would add up for the weekend, and just starting to head back because it's a long route. It's a lot of airsoft, especially from the Friday, and it's a lot of social battery things that I think people were just blah. burnt out, me included. I mean, we finished on Sunday. I got in my car and I just left.
I think hopefully for next year we change that plan up a little bit. We go with the more battle sim like we did for the whole weekend. Just do that on the Saturday, maybe make it a bit longer. That's what I'd like to see anyway. Do maybe 10 till 6 instead of 10 till 4. And then Saturday, the Sunday, make it more of a skirmish, I guess. Add the smaller fun bits in, like Gordon's wanting to do shooting comp. Well, a second shooting comp if we're doing like a big competition with prize on the Saturday. Well, here's a smaller one on the Sunday to continuously run. Because it did go for quite a decent amount of time.
Yeah, it was. So I planned it to be like 45, 50 minutes. And it ended up being like an hour and a half.
It could have been a hell of a lot longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think now that people know what to expect, it's going to be even busier next year.
Yeah.
Which is great for us, great for the event. And we'll just come back with more exciting stuff. More prizes, hopefully.
More corny builds.
I will say this about the gameplay. The objectives packages, and I'm looking at you, BT, could have been greatly simplified. You were just throwing numbers and letters around like some sort of fucking dyslexic hand grenade. I don't know what you were doing, but you need to square that away, son, because I know I'm not the brightest spark in the box, but good lord, you could have helped me out there. So that's when we transitioned to, we now use a WhatsApp-based system for everybody that was wondering, which is much superior. So we just get as many people as we can on the WhatsApp and do it that way. And that way there's no excuse for anybody not knowing what the next objective is. And it eases up commanders' jobs.
I think we can use that as a nice way to kind of move into what I was going to try and talk about next, which was, we spoke about the good. What was the bad of the weekend? Obviously, Ollie didn't have a bad weekend. He just got to chill out and sit down and just have fun with friends. Me and you had a couple of issues, didn't we, throughout the weekend? I mean, one of them will always be, as it always is at Optac, communication. Getting radio signal all the way around the site is difficult, but we will one day find a solution to it. The weather. People being unprepared for the weather it's always something that's going to go on at any game day, whether it be Mil Sim, Battle Sim, or just a normal skirmish. But I think a lot of people were not very prepared at all for even just a little bit of rain. Nobody even took out, I think apart from Matt, who left his, and I've still got it, there wasn't many people who took out a waterproof layer, an extra warm layer, a t-shirt, anything extra to kind of...
It's just nothing to take about and just put those things in, just as an in-case insurance policy, so that you make sure you have the best day that you can have, and that you remain to be an asset to your commander and team. Because ultimately, when people start falling out, I'm not saying they let anybody down, but if there were to let somebody down, it would be your team, because your team is now short of you on the trigger, and just the difference of 3 or 4 people can make an incredible difference to a gunfight. Like you wouldn't believe, do you know what I mean? But that's...
If I see 2 people walking at me, I might try and fight it. If I see 6 people walking at me, I'm planning to get the fuck out of there.
100%. 100%. Unless you can, and then you just see that as more targets.
True. He loves a good put the stone, so...
Mate, Jean-Claude Van Damme was on point with those double kicks at the weekend. It was just, wow. I didn't know he could jump that high. It was damned impressive.
He has to make up for the height somehow.
I'm not sure
it's going to be the podcast that burns for everyone.
It's just like watching a cricket just get... You know what I mean? It just didn't... Like 4 or 5 steps it would take me, he wouldn't touch the ground. I'd be like, wow. You know what I mean? All his part as hell.
Is there anything else you found on the whole of the weekend that was a bit of a... Especially gameplay-wise. We'll try and stay more away from the other things that we can try and fix for next time, but... Any other issues that you had?
Ollie?
Nothing from Jackson then, okay. Ollie, any issues from your of dryness?
No, again, just small admin issues from us. Nothing exciting. We should have taken extra armbands for us to squash that issue of when you show up to a fight. Even the team that have hired you don't know you're on their team.
Not everybody knows.
Yeah, so that's a small admin issue on our part. Other than that, I think maybe going downstairs in shooting runs is a bad idea, because there was far too many people going down the stairs in their shooting comp and not stopping when they hit the floor.
No, yeah.
So yeah, there was a few nearly injuries from people hitting the floor a bit too hard.
We'll set up a zip line, and we'll just zip line them off them stairs.
There you go. That sounds fine.
Yeah. That'd be a good time. Come on.
Zip line at site is the next thing you need to get building then, Jackson. Well done, mate. Well
I can't wait to with my Outward Bound dream of clipping people into harnesses that are too tight. Good soup. I've got a question for you, Elliot. So command styles. My command style is very, very different to your command style in many regards. I'm just wondering how your command style worked out on the Sunday. How you felt about it personally, what people responded to, didn't respond to. Just as a different aspect of it from you.
The command style from me was very difficult for this one. Obviously, when we've done battle sims before, we're used to the people showing up knowing what they've signed up for. You know what I mean? They've signed up for basically a shorter mill sim with more gunfights than role-playing or, holding down locations. So it was a bit of a struggle when a lot of the people who turned up with the more casual players, they were more of the people who just go out to a Saturday, Sunday skirmish and just kind of wanted to see what the event was about, what kind of battle sims were about, because there's two lads, Andy and I'll never remember his mate's name and I feel really shit for it. But there's two lads who now they're signed on for I think they're signed on for a Bad Wolf event. They're signed on for Irene. They're signed on for Scorched Earth Part 3. After just going to KC the once, they're like, yeah, this style of game, we like it. But they've had to learn, right, we need a decent radio, because otherwise we're not going to know what's going on. And we've got to traipse all the way back from, I think at one point they were holding Checkpoint Charlie, but had to come all the way back to Outpost. Sorry, not Outpost. Com station.
Comms, uplink.
Just to see, uplink, there you go, got there in the end. Just to see, right, what's the next objective? Where do we need to be? Because we didn't put it out there. You should probably bring a radio. But because they didn't have those radios, there was no other way for them to find out without asking other people. And if other people didn't know, because they didn't have radios, it was that issue was just coming back. Apart from that, it was kind of try and organise smaller groups. Even if those people didn't know who they were, there was a lot of times where it was like I was trying to pick out a couple of lads who were speaking to me, so I knew that they were a bit more social, and try and mix them with another group of lads who and go, right, you lot might work as a group. I've got this going on over here. Try and either take it, hold it, back up the boys who are doing something there, or just try and attack it and take what's going on. So I kind of just wanted to let everybody do their own thing, whilst also nudging in the right direction of, if you go here, well, we've got this going off at, say, Checkpoint Charlie. If you go through Old Village and clear that way, then it means I can send boys behind you and they've got a safe path and you can all have big fights, big fun. So that kind of thing was, it worked well up until you and John came full force with blue team everywhere.
Yeah. You did shoot me square in the collarbone with that MP7 out, and let me tell you something right now, that was a piece of result. Yeah, I'm sorry that it hit me in the mouth, because that would have been a bad time. But yeah, I just turned, and just you smiling behind the barricade, just going, "What's that sound?" Oh, you wanker! Really, that balled my piece.
That DPM shirt came in clutch for thinking I was
right, 100%. Yeah, it did. It was not particularly.
That was my high point of the weekend, actually, just getting to shoot you. Not knowing where my shots were going, because I've got no sight in my hollow anymore. It was just BBs.
I'll second that. That was my highlight of the weekend, actually. We just before a certain member, Ross, called a ceasefire, we were leaving Old Village, and Jackson sent his whole team in a pickup truck ahead of him, and was deciding to run after said pickup truck, and just ran past all the goons as they were leaving. So everybody just went, "Oh, Jackson!"
Yes, I did do that. Yeah, and then I watched my 2IC and many of my teammates behind me get their shit mixed and was like, this is not good. How do I get out of this? And just had to sort of grit my teeth and book it up the hill. That then met Dan and all of the Waldo posse at the top behind Hescow's on the right hand side and just absolutely eviscerated me. I mean, Dan must have shot me in the leg 30 times in about 3 seconds. I was just like, yeah, that was awesome.
Dan was getting stuck in on the day.
Dan does bits at games, doesn't he? Yeah.
He
That boy off the field, very, very city downy, stay still person. On the field, total switch.
There was a lot of people that I looked at and thought you're not going to do too well here. You're not looking like you're going to be able to make it up these hills a good couple of times.
But was tremendously surprised.
I was like, well done, lad. You surprised me.
Mate, it does just show, though, that with some people, the amount of not quit will take you a very long way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, it's a moment to realise your commanding separately was good enough that you kept the morale up to a point where people wanted to keep pushing, even though they were tired. So that's hats off to you boys for keeping the troops going.
I did. They had to be quite frank, they had no choice with me. It's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship, and you will do as you're told. But like the lads that come with me, generally, like so on the Saturday, there was a lot of lads that turned and they went, "I want to go on your side," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, so that's fine," because they've played with me before and they understand how we operate. And me and John are a little bit more laughy with it to an extent. Elliot is definitely he's a fun teacher. You know, the guy that you can have a laugh with, lets you call him by your first name and that. He's that guy.
Look, you get more work out of people that way.
I disagree. I think if you're really on people's arses and very aggressive about how you tell them you want things done, they tend to listen.
They listen, whether they do it or not, that's a different thing.
Oh, they're doing it. And it's happening. Yeah. Just grit your teeth, bite the pillar. Dad is coming out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. It was one of those, but to be fair, to John's credit, I couldn't have done what I did on the Saturday without John. And to Matt's absolute credit, like that man, everything I gave him, he gave me a response. Everything, you know what I mean? And there's something to be really said for that because we were pushing. And then on the Sunday,
for you, commander for a battle sim or a Milson at attack.
Yeah, I've got it be amazing. Just Captain Matt Beard, pirate hat in hand. They're good time.
I'll
yeah, then like. Oh yeah,
I think he'd love it. Get him like a little diorama of the site on a table, and he can push little characters around and say like where he's got his troops.
Can we get him a stick with the flat bit on
that? That's it. You got it. Proper
World War II war rooms.
Yeah. He starts going wrong and he starts smacking us out with his fist. 99999.
Yeah, and just radios everywhere.
Yeah.
Comm screens, everything.
Big on comms. Yeah. On the line to IT, so he cleared the place.
He's got a microwave, like a boil in the bag meal on the table that's just slowly microwaving itself because there's so many radios around him.
He comes out, he's so tanned. He looks like Sticky Vicky. Good times.
Dripping from sweat from waving himself with all the radios as well.
But you know, with the goons and stuff, I think what worked really well with the goons as well, that I don't think we've spoken about, was that when you pay for the goon services, you get them for an allotted amount of time. Rather than me being able to go and just be like, here's lots of gold, you now work for me exclusively. Thank you. Do you know what I mean? Because that would have been a problem. So I think that aspect of it was written in tremendously well. I think the objectives were cool when they worked, and I knew what was happening. I think having different objectives, it was a one-man carry and a two-man carry, encouraged that teamwork and sort of social aspect of it in a nice way. So lots of good things.
I think they definitely helped like a lot of other people as well start to communicate with things. Like the goons were there, they heard everybody talking, and it's like, well, I'm not just going to stay here and stay quiet and not say anything to the person next to me. I'll say something because then they might start talking as well. And I think by the end of the Saturday, especially, don't get me wrong, the actual social side of it helped massively. Like having the beer tent there on the Friday and the Saturday night meant everybody on Teams, if you had anything go on in the day where you were interacting with another person, could go and find that other person at the end of the day. Oh, that moment was sick. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Friendships made. So on the Sunday, especially, you saw the smaller groups become 2 people, up to 6 people, up to, just massive, well, not massive numbers, but larger numbers than when you saw them all on the Saturday. Having the goons talking and communicating made other people want to talk and communicate and kind of push for it a bit more. So it was like it egged everybody on at the same time. Massive morale boost just having the goons team.
And the good part about the social is you get to the end of the game, you go back to the safe zone for a beer and food and whatever. It doesn't matter what team you're on then.
Yeah.
It's all everybody just in one big space having a chat. Oh yeah, that was good. This was good. I've had a great day. Big shout out to I think those, the 2 lads that you're on about, Elliot, that you said you can't remember his mate's name. I think it's those 2 lads that had a really good fight with us at Checkpoint Charlie. And then we had like this really great moment where it was me, the 2 lads, Dan Todd from Tropic, and who else was there? I want to say it was Tom, and we ran the objectives all the way round the outside of the map to get it back to the embassy to get the gold. And those 2 lads didn't have a clue, like you said, not been to many battle sims or like organised events before.
Yeah.
And they were keen to listen, keen to make it work, and they were like, yeah, what have we got to do? How do we do it? Tell us what we've got to do. And we just worked as like a little unit, and it didn't matter that they weren't goons. They just jumped in. We all did the work and just hauled these boxes all the way around, having a fight, pulling back, until we got back to embassy. And they were like, wow, we're so glad we got the gold for our team now. And it felt like they'd had that little bit of influence that then greatly made their day better.
Yeah. When I saw him on the Sunday getting back, I think it got to about 1 o'clock on the Sunday, and I hadn't seen any of my team. I couldn't get anybody on radios. I know there wasn't many with radios out there, but I was like, right, I'll try everything. So I took a walk around the site. I couldn't find a single member of Green Team. So I was like, having a mini mental breakdown, like, what the heck do I do? Went out, grabbed some lunch quickly, ran to the toilet, came back. I look at the table, there's 36 bars of gold, and I've been gone for maybe half an hour to an hour, and just those 2 are stood there like, yeah, we just got it all. I was like, where have you been all my lives? Like, since that moment, I have been on it with those 2, wanting to know who they are, I went to a game day with them the other weekend at Skirmish, and they did say, like, that's usually where they'd go, so, like, that was a whole different experience. And, yeah, those 2 lads who were with us at Skirmish the other weekend.
They are awesome guys.
They were awesome legends. They saved my Sunday. Thank you. But just leave the smelling salts alone.
I can't help it. Oh, that really went.
You were saying they were getting weaker earlier as well.
They do, and then you shake them a bit, and then you're like, oh, the devil. You know what I mean? it's fantastic.
They're going to wear off.
Now, I'll just get stronger ones.
Just get a pure bottle of ammonia. Just like,
right, sniffing cats. Oh.
Right, I think we've pretty much covered as many things as I thought we could cover on this one. We've said all the thank yous that I wanted to try and get out last weekend and didn't manage to get to. Is there? Who've I missed?
Well, it's just a thank you to everybody that came along and participated, paid your money to be there, and made the weekend a fantastic weekend, because really, ultimately, without those guys, none of this, you know what I mean? It's for them, by them, to an extent, because they do make it happen. Without them being there, it doesn't happen. So just a massive thank you to everybody that came. I know I feel that way, Courtney feels that way, Ollie, all of Tropic, Elliot, all the sponsored players at Nemcast, and Rob, we all just are really grateful for everybody turning out and making it such a good event.
Yes.
And just making all the hard work really worth it. You know, that was a big thing for me.
It's thank you for taking a risk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was the first event. Thanks for taking a risk on us producing an event worthy of you spending your hard-earned money to come and play for a weekend.
May have been a wet one, may have been a sweaty one, but it was a fucking good weekend. And I hope everybody else thinks the same. I hope everybody will come to the next one. And yeah, I love that event. I can't wait for it. Can't wait to see the boys. Well, any event where I get to see everybody, it's great times. But like just being able to do it with a bit more of a social at the end of the day, where you can just sit down, chill, speak to everybody who you've been friends with, it's banging. Just great.
Go on, sorry, Ollie.
No, I'm just seconding what Al said. Carry on.
Can we trial run a segment for the end of this where you can put like a special of the day is what we'll call it or something.
Special of the day. It'd just be a photo of you.
Is it okay? Normie behaviours. Is it normal to mark every kill that you get on the side of the receiver of your gun? I'm going to say no.
I only know of one other person who's done something like that, and I'm pretty sure he only did it to his hollow site. But it is a bit strange. It's like
the same kind of people that like buy the Nicki Minaj skin on Call of Duty. Do you know what I mean?
I have that skin.
So we're going to vote on this then. We're going to vote on this then. So I'm saying not normal. Ollie?
Not normal.
Definitely not normal.
There we go. Not normal. Don't mark your kills.
You know what should be normal? People buying Redux BBs, which we currently
don't have a code for.
Might have a code for by now.
So
hopefully, if there's a code, it's going to go there. If not, I'm going to have to chop this bit out, so it's going to look a bit silly.
I think is that us concluded, gentlemen?
I think so.
Right,
think so.
Like and subscribe. Do all your weird shit in the comments. Look forward to reading that. You know. And have a good time. Don't kill anybody who reflects poorly on us.
I love that I've not had to do any of it. I didn't have to do an intro to it. I've not had to do the outro to it. Jackson's just like, yeah, I'll do it, mate. Don't you worry.
Don't add to the population unwillingly. Don't take from the population unwillingly. There you go.
If you end up in prison, assert dominance quickly.
On that note, cheers for watching, guys. Have a good and goodbye.